Hello and welcome back, everybody, for our halftime show after Team Liquid made quick work of Immortals Academy. Team Liquid Honda really showing up and showing us why they are a threat. Gubby, the big news going into this, the big kind of push that we had was these players are all looking like they are LCS ready. Team Liquid Academy in general look like a team that can move already and slot into an LCS position. It's these guys' performances that almost reinforce that.
I don't know what else to say, man. Jan and Ayla are really, really good this week. I mean, we know they're really good, but it really feels like they're in form. And the way that they're playing around Kalista, the confidence Jan has in this champ, it's really good to see.
I said it before. I'll say it again. Attack the bot lane.
Yes. Attack the bot lane, and I think it was actually Team Liquid that decided to do that instead. As our Mayo went for the early dive, getting some kills, and yeah, once Jan was popping off, he did not stop. I still can't believe how close that final Nexus fight was, though. Immortals Academy, they almost were able to kill Jan at the end there, and I was like, wait a minute, 12k down, winning a fight under Nexus turrets, but no, it was not meant to be. But with that said, it is our halftime show, so I think by now the audience is used to us playing games, having a little bit more fun with our analytical breakdown of what happened in game number 1. So we're going to do something fun today. If there's one thing our producer Kelsey loves, it's when I say the night before broadcast, hey, Kelsey, I have a new idea I want to try out for the first time tomorrow. So we're going to give this one a run. This is a game that we call Pog of War. Now, for anybody who's not aware, our backgrounds, we don't all share the same room. No, in fact, we all actually have a green screen behind us. And what a green screen means is that we can put any image that we want behind us. You know, we can just kind of throw whatever we want back there. This is Alk Battery's bedroom. If you know Alk, or not bedroom, kitchen, where he does his broadcasts from. You know, we have fun, right? But this is what happens when I turn off the green screen. I'm going to show everybody. This is what it looks like when oh wait, sorry, I gotta actually go into my filter. This is called a chroma key, and I just turned it off. Now I'm in the abyss. What I learned is that production can actually chroma key for me. So we're gonna play a new game that we like to call, or that I am now calling, Pog of War. I'm no longer looking at our feed. I'm no longer looking at it. I can't see what you all see. Production can put anything that they want behind me, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Put a duck. Put a duck.
Magical's requesting a duck. I don't know what production's actually going to choose to put behind me. It could be anything right now. I have no idea. But that is the key to this game. I am an on-site news reporter, and these are my two news anchors. They're going to be asking me questions about that last game, and I'm going to have to guess the context of what is behind me. It could be following a player. It could be following a series of plays. I don't know. But there will be something that ties them together, and through their questions, they each get 3. They will give me hints as to what it is. Cubby, Magical, you ready to play?
This is going to be fun.
All right, let's see. Let's see if it works out. First ever time going. All right, guys, reporting in live on site right here. Let me grab my microphone. Beautiful weather. Beautiful weather.
Oh, it is. What kind of weather is it?
It's really cool. The kind of weather you want to bring the family to the beach. Magical.
I must say, I feel like the weather, it doesn't really fit a beach. It's a bit colder, and you know, things are growing over time.
Well, you see, I am from Minnesota, so our beaches are probably a little cooler than you're used to, Cubby. Being down there in the warm state of Illinois, I know that it's a lot more tropical where you're from. But this is what we consider beach weather.
But do manta rays exist in Minnesota? That's what I really want to know.
Manta rays. They're not known to be native to the region, but there have been some reports. Yes.
Are you familiar with a participation award?
Wait, am I supposed to look this way or this? I actually don't know. Which way am I looking? This
way? Yeah,
that way. Yeah.
This way. Okay, this way. Participation award. Yeah, that's actually what we're giving out to this this right here. This is the participation award recipient of this week's broadcast.
Okay, so if we're giving out participation awards, what do we do for the best fisher?
The best fisher. So the best fisher actually gets a prize where they can multiply their fish. They actually get what we call the miracle buff, where they can just turn one fish into multiple fish, and then they keep spawning more fish, and then you can actually close the game out that way.
So,
as you can see represented
Wait,
here.
I have a follow-up question really quick.
Hold on.
Okay, follow-up question first.
Yeah. So, how is it normal for people to catch fish with spears?
It's an old technique, dating back to I believe 2011 with the release of Nidalee. But yes, it does check out.
Can you spawn multiple spears?
Or can you throw
within the limits of the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that Right August has revamped Nidalee yet. But once we have a Nidalee rework, you'll probably be able to throw out like 20 spears to hit all 20 of Bel'Veth's little fishy minions as she's stacked up, getting all the Rift Heralds.
So,
is that what's behind me? Is that correct?
I have one more thing. Just one more thing.
All this is
all right. One more.
What happens when you rip a spear out of what you fished?
Rip a spear out of what you fished. You get the Jan Security, the Baron with Bel'Veth. But Bel'Veth still got that Baron.
Okay.
Now I'm confused. I thought I knew where you were going with this. Give me one more hint, Cubby. I think I can do this.
I think that we've really led you astray here. I
did so on purpose.
Of course you did.
What? I know exactly what's behind me.
I think the best hint that we gave was probably participation. Keep in mind, participation is something that happens over the game as the game starts level 1.
The participation award. Chad getting out jungled?
No.
Is that the award? No? All right.
Okay, so the hint was
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, Jan had the most KP. So that's where I was going with that one.
Oh, participation.
Yeah.
I'll be
honest. I was trying to tie
was it just a Jan montage? It was just a Jan montage, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why were you asking me Bel'Veth questions? I can't believe you. All right, I'm turning my chroma key back on, and I'm firing Mad Magical because he does not understand how to ask questions.
No. Hey, hold on. I'll justify myself right now. And
okay.
So
curious.
You told us beforehand to make it not so easy on you at the beginning. And so I decided to...
Well, you're supposed to scale the questions, but that's all right.
And I did. I scaled them in the other direction.
But wait, I don't understand. Well, regardless, that was the first ever attempt at Pog of War right there. Kelsey's going to be really happy with how that one went. I think it was definitely a fan favorite and a crowd winner right there. But the point is we are getting ready for the next game. So now I want to actually start thinking about that because Jan was popping off. Magical, you said Immortals should focus on the bot lane and that's what they should shut down. How do they do that? Is it just ban out the Callista?
Or, gank it once?
I think they did gank it and they won.
No. Immortals need to gank the Callista.
Immortals ganked it, and Jan won. It was in the montage.
No, okay, that was well after he got fed. I'm talking like level 3.
It was a little after.
I want Chad aggression level 3 ganks. That's what I'm talking about.
Armeo on the Bel'Veth was down there, I believe, level 3.
Yes, it was.
Very early on into the laning phase, and walked all the way around the tri-bush, went for the dive underneath. And when I looked at something like a Graves, I was thinking, okay, maybe they can actually pull this off. But then, like, what's the Graves around? You have the Renata Glask and the Aphelios, which maybe take a little bit more time to come online. Not necessarily this lane that I expect you to go for a gank early on, but it was vital on the Fiora, which is what Immortals chose to play through instead. And they didn't really get vital off the ground either. They left up Bradley's gangplank and Cubby. It felt like either the plan that we had for Immortals or the plan that they executed, neither one.
With Graves, I think that split map scenarios are good. You can execute on them consistently. IMT didn't end up going for that. Chad did get a double crab and got up a camp or two, but that doesn't matter a whole lot, especially when, I mean, by the time we hit Rift Herald, it was IMT had to overcommit to take Rift Herald, and TL ended up winning more off the play, and I think IMT, sacked for it. So I think that Bel'Veth, in early game comps with Bel'Veth, it gives teams a really interesting decision to make where do you give first Rift Herald, try to get something cross-map, and then give that 3-minute power play, or do you throw everything at contesting it when your team isn't as strong as it could be at the moment? I think that's where IMT kind of struggled because they weren't strong enough to contest Rift, so they had to bring all 5 members in a not great way, and TL really punished them for it.
So then my next thought is, again, we're getting ready for pick and ban here shortly. Let's do a new game. Magical, what? I don't even know what that mug is. Hopefully there wasn't a brand shown. Okay, it's just coffee. Sweet, perfect. Let's do a game that we call over-under. What do we think the minute count of this next game will be? Because Team Liquid, they just speed ran that last one. I'm going to give over-under 25 minutes. Who's taking over? Who's taking under?
I got over.
You got over? Magic or Cubby?
I guess I'm stuck with the under.
I feel like you could still take over. I could take the double loss on the under.
Under 27.
Okay. So above 25, but you're still thinking under 27. What was the final minute count of that last game? I actually don't remember.
23 minutes and 50 seconds?
Yeah, it was a speedster.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Yeah,
that's pretty fast. I'm going to stick with under 25, actually. I think that the way Team Liquid Academy is looking, I know that we keep saying hypothetically, how could Immortals Academy try and take down Team Liquid? But it just doesn't feel like they have the necessary tools to punch through the armor. And because of those reasons and what we just saw, I'm still feeling pretty confident.
And it's not just for IMT against TL. Also feels like them against some of the other top teams we have in the league. Keep in mind, they're on an 07 slide now. Their last 3 series, 100 Thieves, C9, COG. Those are the other 3 teams that are in our top 4, along with TL. So I think for IMT, I'm curious how they end up solving this, and we're getting closer to proving grounds. Moving forward, they're going to have to find ways to start being able to beat these top teams. I know that it's Academy, care more about development than results, but still, come PG, going to need to find a way to get the wins.
And a reminder from our producer, Kelsey, who actually said that TL currently hold the time record last time they played against Immortals. So yes, they have the fastest game.
18 minutes and 37 seconds.
Maybe they are going to go for that speed run again. Pick and ban is ready, though, so I'm going to pass it back over to Magical and Cubby for pick and ban of game number 2.
Well, I'm hoping not for speed run because I enjoy casting more and more gameplay. But we are getting into our champion select, and as you talked about, Immortals Progressive gone quite the slide down, kind of like that of FlyQuest. But Team Liquid Honda, strong as ever, have not relented on any of that momentum. But with the side swap, I'm curious to see if we actually have a ban towards Kalista or Zeri, or if we just have an immediate lock-in for one of their champions.
I think that's a good call out, Mad Magical. Again, TL, when you give Kalista on blue side, it's really easy to get access to that Gromp camp with the help of your bot lane. It's a bit harder on red, as, curiously enough, Shyvana taken away. Maybe we do have a GP coming out here, Mad Magical, as you were prepping that matchup earlier.
Yeah.
Could be an option.
That's immediately what I'm thinking. I see the Shyvana ban, and it makes me think that it's going to be an early take on game playing for Immortals.
See what the plan ends up being. You did tease out the bot lane bans. Marksman, specifically Zeri and Kalista, both are up going into our last ban. One of them could be first picked here by Immortals, and you gotta believe that Kalista is up for TL. Why would they stray away from that? Might as well stick to the bread and butter that's gotten here so far.
I'm a bit surprised by that. And looking at Team Liquid, I'm wondering if they want to ban Zeri themselves or just have a trade. The handshake of Zeri for Kalista. And it seems like that's what they're going to opt for. Going for similar bans to last time, but not banning Yuumi.
So if Zeri is taken, there are other options to play into Zeri.
Well, that's what I said. Yuumi's up. Yeah. So Twitch Yuumi.
That's definitely one of them. And honestly, Yuumi being on the board, we've seen some teams first pick Yuumi. That could be something that IMT could do. I don't think TL is going to swap up and just all of a sudden take a Yuumi. Zeri was hovered. It will be Kalista. Yawn, if he wants to go crazy, could end up going for that Draven. If not, there are other options into Kalista. Lucian Nami, still something that we've seen some people comfortable enough to pilot into this lane. Also for Yawn, I think it's important to note, he will play Aphelios into the Kalista as well.
Exactly, but I really do want to see a little bit of ego. With that Zeri pick, I actually like this. That we hyped it up before, that Yawn is one of our best Zeri players in Academy. That and Kalista and Ezreal and Draven and Aphelios and... Okay, never mind. I'm not going to list them all. We have a strong pick in Yawn's hands, and I would expect the Yuumi to be taken here, just to have something pretty solid in the bot lane. Heals up, but it's you're rightfully kind of shrugging and being like, it's not necessarily the best into any Kalista lane.
Oh, wow. It's actually going to be an early Olaf, which For Bradley, he is 7-0 on the Olaf this split. We expect that to go into his hands. As seeing that this early in the draft is very curious to me, Mad Magical.
Same.
As it really throws down, you know, asking Vital, what are you going to counterpick into this?
It's a flex pick. I think that's why they locked it in. I think because Armeo is a legacy Olaf player, and I feel like they're just trying to see if they can bait in something like Gnar picked up.
Yeah, but we don't see a ton of Olaf being played in the jungle anymore. It's been more so top, and I like the Olaf matchup in the Gnar. I think that you are able to pressure early. Now, Gnar obviously has that double hop away, but he can't really go mega and jump in, and Olaf, you really stack check him in the early stages of the game. So, see if that ends up being the take for Bradley, whereas for IMT, Amumu could be an option, but we have seen Joey sticking to more of the Enchantresses, and instead, IMT, they want some late game insurance. Can actually take the Corki for themselves.
Bit curious, not going for Joey's Renata Gloss, something that he's piloted very well in the past, and instead going for Corki, because Silas, I think, was the one I was looking at that Harry probably could pick, because when you see a Gnar on the other side, that is a great ult to steal away.
It's Harry on melees. You have a good ult in Gnar. The Corki ult, very strong as well for the Silas, as you get that bonus AP ratio, given how Silas's ult works. Good lane matchup. Also, Callista ult, you can hook that up with the Olaf. All of a sudden, you're throwing Bradley into the back line with Ragnarok to Olaf. That sounds pretty good to me. But at the moment, that Kinderband does tell me that TL was thinking about putting Armeo on this. I want to see IMT take away Yuumi. I think when you have Olaf plus Zeri, just don't risk having Awa play Yuumi.
There it is.
Yes, you could play an Amumu into it, but why give TL that extremely powerful late game comp? Like seeing Yuumi taken away. We could also see something like Lulu taken away as well, if IMT are scared of that.
Honestly, I would. Because I look at what they have. They got Zeri, they got Olaf, they have Silas. All of which work really well with getting bolstered up by Lulu, by Nami. I mean, I was even thinking Soraka, even though we haven't seen a Soraka at all in the split, just because it's more power to these carries.
I do like that Trundle ban, as Trundle very good into Olaf still. Old Olaf especially, still have that terrain to throw off the new Olaf at the moment. But last ban, IMT, I will say Lulu plus Karma feels like both are pretty good for the side of TL. They're going to opt to take away the Karma. I will say that Awa, that is one of his best champions in his career, and he is 7-0 on Karma in this split. So I do respect that ban as well for the side of TL. And we'll see if they end up showing their top lane pick or jungle pick here to save support counter for Awa. Something that TL does often. Again, Awa. I really think Awa's the best player in this league. He is just so solid at every single aspect of his game. And TL, they see that Gnar. Bradley wants his Aurelia, man. That's going to be the pick.
That is a legacy pick. Back when he was mid lane too, one of the strong picks that he had that we saw, and this is why so many people talked about him, was because he was always willing to play Aurelia into pretty much any pick that he could put him into. But here, you're putting him into a counter matchup. You're giving him all the opportunity to beat Vital in lane and try to go for his own plays. And like I talked about, that flex from Olaf, I called it out initially, and hey, I'm right about something. Soraka does get locked in.
So we haven't seen a lot of Callista with Enchantresses. I actually think that Enchantresses are a bit underrated with Callista, just given the fact that you can pull them into safety, and your laning is pretty strong, as all the harass that Callista can put down the poke with Enchantress support's pretty good. As Chad, he's going to be playing into that Olaf, has the Soraka in his back pockets. That's enough for him to take the kitty cat. As now, we'll see what the counter is for Awa, and it's a Sona. Sona plus Zeri, so going for more of that scaling. Fun drafts we have here, Mad Magical.
Yeah, this is what I like to see. And can I just say how big brain am I, Cubby? Praise me. Please praise me. I need it.
I mean, is it big brain, or is it just like, I want to see Soraka, and maybe you write the script. Maybe that's it, Mad Magical.
Oh, I called the Olaf flex.
You did call the Olaf flex. Okay, there we go.
You weren't committed towards that?
There we go. Yeah, well done.
I called that out. And
now, there might be another flex going on, as of
now
course
that one
Bradley,
I didn't see coming.
Being that former mid laner, Silas and Gnar is a good matchup.
It is.
We thought it'd be Silas into the Corki, but it does look like TL will be taking that Silas into the top lane now that we are past the 20-second mark. So Bradley, one of his historical best champions, mid, going to be playing a top into that Gnar.
Yeah, and Harry playing Aurelia is the surprising one for me, because I'm just so used to seeing Bradley play it, but we've also seen that Harry, the melee mid laners, he's always so good at these, always playing so aggressive one of the best laners that we have in Academy, as you were talking about, always having these massive leads by 15-minute mark.
And for me, this puts a lot of our eyes on the mid lane. As Harry with this Aurelia, if you're able to get dives off on the Corki, that's huge. So I want to see how Armeo and Harry can sync up, maybe with the help of AO2 to try and dive this Corki under turret, put Pretty very far behind on this champion.
But I want to see Chad play aggressive on Rengar. We have seen this a few times. This is one of those picks that he plays to look for these early plays when normally you're like, oh, it's Rengar. He's just going to look to farm to get level 6 so that way he can gank. No. That's not how Chad plays this champion.
We saw the replays.
We saw the replays. We saw that he will go for plays. Level 3, level 4, level 5. I wouldn't be surprised if he even tries a level 1 play here just to try to get something ahead. Yet you scoff, but you don't doubt.
Soraka Rengar is pretty good level 1.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying. And also Sona's very squishy.
We'll have to see as we're hoping to dive into the game as soon as possible here. But at the moment, a fun draft. I mean, from both sides. We haven't seen Vital play Gnar yet.
It's decent. It's on a scale of, for me, like of 1 to 10 being 10 the spiciest. I put it at like a 4.
I'm giving this like an 8. This is a fun one. We get Soraka versus
That's
Sona.
That's because you're boring, Cubby.
I watched too many games. I have too much of an idea of what should happen.
And I don't watch too many games? What do you think I do in my off time? That's all I do.
Good to hear that we have no life here on Academy, as that was the theme that Sierra used to kick off our stream day 1. And now, just day 3, making the rounds. We're back.
See, now this is how you make the draft spicier. I'm just going to say this before we get into Champs Select, into the game. So, you get rid of the Gnar. Get that out of here. Don't want to see it. Instead, you're gonna draft Maokai, and you're gonna go full AP top lane. All right. You can keep the Aurelia mid lane. I like that. The Silas top lane.
Liandry's?
Yeah,
Riftmaker?
Liandry's,
okay.
Riftmaker is an option, but I think going... Actually, no. No. You go Liandry's. You want to be able to burn.
You need the mana.
Yeah. And then also, Kalista, Zeri, get them out of here. I don't want to see those. What I would prefer is maybe...
Carry Soraka?
Carry Soraka could work. Or, hear me out, even better, Vigar. Vigar with Soraka bot lane. There you go.
I'm a Vigar fan. We're seeing a lot less of Vigar since this changes.
Or actually, no, I take it back. It's Vigar Sona. So Team Liquid get that. And then you have Brand Soraka.
Actually, while we are on a tangent waiting for the game to start, Brand Nami. And if you guys want some solo queue tag, Nami with artillery mages is very, very fun. If you want to try that in the bot lane, it is you can have some filthy combos with like Nami Vel'Koz. We even saw some Nami Vel'Koz from Dignitas earlier in the season when Sanity was playing his artillery mages with Lucian Nami bot. Really good to see.
So how do you rate my spicy picks now, comparatively?
A few caps as usual in Mad Magical that's instead of the peppers we need the caps.
Yeah, I mean I always try to, what is it, the Scoville?
Yes, Scoville.
Scoville spicy setting. I always try to break that. But let's talk about actually what we have, because it is an interesting draft. Silas top lane into Gnar, the Aurelia into Corki. I feel like you have, as that lane, Harry has to look for plays pretty much level 3 through 5.
You murder that lane 1 through
even 1.
Like, 1 through 9. You crush
really?
That lane. Yeah.
I thought level 6 was where it'd get a little difficult.
I mean, Corki can farm and stay at bay, but you still crush the lane. You get shoved. The kill pressure is not there unless you have help, but you can do a lot with Aurelia into Corki. So we'll have to see if Harry's up to it. Love seeing TL use some of the unique strengths they have with Bradley and his deep champ pool. I think it is worth noting. God, what unique champ is this for Bradley? I think he's sitting at 12 now for the split with this Aurelia.
I thought he had
Silas,
more.
I should say.
Yeah, I thought he had more. Because I think it's him and Tenacity that are racing for
12.
top lane. Yeah, they got those two players that are playing like the most different champions top lane. So with Silas, very interesting to see. And I'm curious because I talked about how Rengar Soraka, I actually think that's a really powerful level 1. And we'll be able to see it. We'll finally get into the game. Our second game of this best of 2 between Team Liquid Honda Academy and Immortals Progressive Academy. A solid game 1 from Team Liquid. Can they replicate that or even try to break their own record they set against Immortals back in week 2?
Also, while we're sitting on unique champions for top lane, before we get fully into this game, Mad Magical, Concept sitting at 13.
Oh, I mean,
Concept,
that doesn't surprise me though.
Your favorite, man, playing all the crazy picks.
See, I like when people play crazy stuff, man. That's I'm not.
He's a simple man with simple needs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need anything too extravagant. Just play crazy.
That said, fortunately, we are hopping into this game as Team Liquid Honda looking to take a 2-0.
I don't think we're hopping into the game. More like it loaded up onto our screens.
Minions have spawned.
I'm just saying. I don't really want to hop through my screen anyways, because I'd probably break it.
I'm just going to let Summoner's Rift music soothe me here at Mad Magical.
All right, let's...
Serenity.
All those pings were disrupting my serenity. I couldn't really focus on the serene duck that we see right there. Oh, no, it went away. Go back to the duck.
At the moment, both junglers are starting off on this top side, working their way bot. Armeo has already wrapped up the Raptors.
Ooh, I like this aggressive play from Immortals. Going for the early play on a Yawn. They've got him with the Ignite as Arrow still survives.
Okay, level 1 shenanigans. We waited for that.
What
Way
the
to go,
duck
IMT.
just happened, man?
Callista going off for Arrow. This is one of his most played champions now. His most played this split as Harry.
Takes a turret shot. Not as great of a position as you want to be, but let's go back to that bot lane play, because this is a lot of power for Immortals. I'd ask them to attack the bot lane, try to put Yawn in a bad position, and sure enough, they do it without Chad.
And a big shift, because we were talking so much about how TL in game 1 with the Callista, so good at having Callista win 1 through V and then 1v through 3 and then invade enemy jungle.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Soraka is OP against Zeri.
Why is that, man? Magical?
The silence.
It was a Q start, but yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was not a Q start. That was a silence start.
Oh, really? I thought I saw the Q.
No.
I thought I saw it come from Air.
I thought so too, and then I realized, I'm like, wait, that's silence. Zeri couldn't use the Q at all.
That's some special tech coming out from Joey and IMT.
Dude, that was cool.
Okay, I like it. Immortals busting it out, getting a level 1 kill, much needed. As they're trying to get their first game on the board in the last game of the week. As top lane.
Bradley, Vital. Bradley, can you pull off a miracle again like you did yesterday? You can, Bradley. He is the king of solo kills.
And the Kingslayer connects as Vital even flashes, has to burn the TP back. Bradley will match, but this lane, 1 through 5 is where it's okay for Gnar. After 6 is where things get really good for the Silas. The fact that Bradley already has a kill up here.
Okay, wait, we're going to review, see if this is a Q or E. Oh, it is Q. Damn it.
They do look similar. I'll give you that.
Well, it was how long it lasted. I thought it was the E. But you know what? It's still, the point is there. That is a busted ability to have against Zeri.
It is. Wasn't an E, but shout out to EE for getting us that replay. Making sure that I'm right, not Mad Magical.
Hey, you know what? I was right in Champion Select. Yeah, I gotta give you this one. Gotta make you look somewhat good.
Yeah. We do our best here. As at the moment, what's looking good for IMT is this bot lane, as Callista is up at least boots. There's the silence so that Yawn can't interact, taking a lot of damage here.
And when you think about it, is that not busted against Zeri?
I like it, yeah. I mean, I didn't really think about that until now, but that's something very unique to Zeri as a marksman champion. We'll see what solution TL has for it. As Armeo has yet to base, did retake the Raptors, is waiting to retake his Gromp. His first base is going to be very big, but he's just hovering to make sure that Chad or IMT doesn't go for any shenanigans.
I mean, they're looking for the shenanigans regardless. Armeo could be there or not. Yawn and Naylor are way too low and way too squishy to do anything against Arrow and Joey, and I think even if Armeo shows up, it's going to be turned right back in their face.
And you can see, I mean, how low the bot lane of TL is, as Armeo Because the bot lane's so low, we'll have to eat this wave, and now Harry, he's going to get jumped on.
Jump slowed by Bola with a nice phosphorus bomb. The flash away with the flash. No, Chad, it was so close.
Honestly, really good attempt from Chad. If Harry doesn't flash there, isn't able to extend the range of that E, Chad flashes over it and gets the kill. But Harry going to be able to get out of that one. We'll have to walk back to base, or actually he's just going to have the Sona with the Vamp Scepter. Important, while that bot lane was going on, Armeo has been forced to somewhat hover, and because Armeo took a very powerful early clear, I'm going to pause because Vital might be in trouble.
No, he's not in trouble. He's dead.
He's dead. Wow. Abscond Abduct usage there by Bradley. The dash into the Meganar with the hijack, and then stunning after. So yeah, we said Bradley was a good Silas. His Silas when he was a mid laner was so disgusting.
Can I ask production or anybody out there listening, can you just quickly do a count on how many solo kills Bradley's got this week?
This week?
This week alone.
I can do this.
Just
split.
this week. No.
Week.
Just this week. Because I feel like half of the solo kills he's gotten in this split have been in these last 6 games.
Yeah, it's been a tough time here for Vital. As, he has 17 heading into the day. I can't say that. That is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's 25 games.
What was it? At least 4 when he played Gangplank into Aatrox. He's got 2 of this game, so that's 6. I'm pretty sure he got more elsewhere. Right now, bot lane still playing aggressively. Chad's there, and they just don't care. Jan will survive, but man, they're forcing every summoner possible out of Team Liquid Honda's bot lane.
Piercing arrow just went wide from arrow there. If that connects, Jan dies. Jan should be able to grab this wave, but still, Sona Zeri. This lane is very, very weak early, and IMT doing their best to punish that. Joey Arrow doing a nice job so far.
I'm telling you, the Soraka's busted into it. Just put down the silence.
It's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if they can survive this. As Chad, he's going to take this dragon, but Armeo, he's been power clearing on the Olaf.
He has
Chad
been.
Will be spotted.
Hoping to spot out. We'll spot out the Thrill of the Hunt was popped. But they'll back off instead. Gone. Knowing that it's not really going to be able to do too much either. Just keeping farming, doing his best.
Harry's going to see Chad in the mid lane as he has to back off. What I was going to say earlier, one of the things we teased that was possible for TL in this champ select, it was diving Corki early. Because this bot lane's been put so far behind, Armeo's been forced to finish his clear bot and to hover this lane to protect them. That's taken away the ability for TL to really try and pressure this Corki. And now Armeo, he's going to be trying to get back in this lane.
They got a little bit of a slow. He hasn't popped the Ragnarok just yet. Flash away from Arrow to survive.
Good flash. Smart move there from Arrow. As Armeo, again, fixing his bot lane's wave state.
That was the E. That was the E. No, they're not going for it. They're just trying to see if they can delay the backs. Watch. Do it again. See?
Ooh. Happy B as Arrow rocked the V-motes. Important to note, at least 4 TL. Bradley, 2 kills topside. That's pretty damn good. We'll see what happens around this Rift Herald. Because if IMT rotates their bot lane up to take this Rift, I think that could be a point of power for them again. As IMT off to a much better start in this early game, even despite the rough top lane we're seeing up here.
I'm looking to see when Thrill of the Hunt comes back off cooldown for Chad. I think that's when we'll see Immortals strike. Utilizing that ult to kind of clear out more of a zoning control thing than anything else. Say, hey, you can't come into this vicinity. We've got the advantage. And with that nearly off cooldown, you can see, you're right, Arrow, Joey, rotating up, trying to look for the Rift Herald.
And TL, knowing how far behind Jan is, they're just going to leave him down there. So I think TL is going to intelligently sack this. TL, we oftentimes praise their macro, their ability to, just play the map as a team. I think this is a really smart decision from them, giving this away.
Yeah.
Jan's at least getting something in return. I say that. Jan actually crashed it and now is basing. Didn't stick around for any plates.
Oh, oof.
No, it'll bounce back into him. He got into the turret.
You think so?
Yeah. He definitely got that ball.
It's always hard to tell from the minimap because it's, you can't really count exactly how many. But no, you're right. It's pushing back.
It's coming back.
Okay, because I was about to say, if that got frozen right outside of turret aggro, that would be the roughest thing for Jan.
But still, no plates for Jan. I mean, that is essentially a free Rift Herald for IMT, and we'll see how much they can get with it. As you got to believe that Chad's going to go straight bot, take the Krugs, and drop it with that wave crash. Because that's going to be first brick for Immortals.
But let's start praising mid lane a little bit. Look at that pretty, actually. You talked about the level 1 through 9 being the most difficult point for Corki in this matchup. Well, he has survived it. And not only that, he's not that far behind in the matchup like I would expect him to. He was pushed back towards his turret many, many times, but survived every single attempt from Harry.
That W wave for Pretty, helping him out. Using that mini package as arrow.
He just got a lot of spears.
Yeah, that's a good trade. And Chad, he's taking the Krug, should be walking bot, throwing down the Rift. Armeo's going to be here to hover to make sure that they don't get 2 charges off, but should be first brick going over to IMT. The individual laning prowess from Arrow Joey this game, much improved. And it's really helping give Immortals something to rock with this game. Going to be especially important, given how far ahead Bradley is in the top side.
Chad sitting on a ward with Armeo hovering. We look back to the top lane. It was a nice gnarl by Vital, looking for a lot of damage on Bradley, but he does the same thing back them and look for the dive as they got a lot of damage on Yon with a nice crescendo to make sure they can take down Chad. Yon's still alive. Arrow trying to kite back, get the hop, skip, jump away, but Armeo is there for the double kill. Soraka might be hit one back, but all the plays work out for Team Liquid.
Bradley wraps up the top side. Armeo, the counter gank. He knew that Rift Herald was planning on being taken down to get first brick bot, but man, Chad, he wanted the kills. He could have dropped it with that when that wave crashed earlier to guarantee first brick, but no, they wanted to set up a play. They wanted the kills. Armeo, he reads it like a book, turns it around, and now TL, they're in the control of this game.
And this is what you expect from Armeo, the general, how he reads the situation in the battlefield consistently, even against someone as chaotic as Chad. He knows what he's looking for. He even knew. You're looking for the kills, not for the turret. I'm going to hover here the entire time. And once that fight comes, we'll turn it around.
Armeo's having a really fantastic series. And honestly, the diagnosis that our good friend, very talented colorcaster, Joshi had about TL versus IMT really feels like it's kind of showing in these games. Like the top lane lead for Bradley, Armeo being that control jungler, taking away some of the ganks, some of the moves from Chad, as Chad now forced to drop this Rift Herald. It will be a crashing bot lane. IMT has numbers around this dragon. We'll see if they can take it. Pretty does have package.
TP's coming in from Vital. It's down pretty low. I don't think you want to contest this too hard if you're Immortals, but they already got Pretty into the pit. He's got the package, the jump in. It's a steal. No, it's not a steal, but the package splits up the fight. Harry, he's burning. Can they kill him off? He's trying his best to make sure that he gets a double kill in the back line. Harry's huge, but Vital makes sure he crushes him under his foot with the fight in the pit. Chad dives to Armeo. Yon still alive, and only Vital is going to be the remaining part of Immortals.
And Bradley, he stole that Soraka ult that kept Harry alive so they could work through the back line as Harry trades his life, but it's well worth it for TL. They take the objective. They take 3 lives away from IMT, and TL again able to turn this game in their favor.
It's looking like a repeat of last game where it starts off sort of slow, but then one fight boils down to Team Liquid huh?
Last game was a pretty fast start for TL.
Well, it's a fast start, but the thing is, we're still only 13, 14 minutes into the game, and now they've got a massive lead.
It's a good package here from Pretty. I mean, it really splits up the fight, but Bradley with this Soraka ult, look at how low Harry gets once he commits. I think the Soraka ult is the big difference in making sure that Harry stays alive. It comes in there even through Ignite. I mean, Harry's alive right now with about 200 HP. I think Soraka ult really helped make sure he was able to commit to that play. Harry takes out 2 in the back line. We return to live. Bradley, he's not done. Will not take Vital there.
He's just bullying him, and
but Chad's dead.
He gets a Scuttle Crab and gives over a kill to Harry.
Man, IMT, first it was the Akali flex. Now this game showing they can flex Silas plus Aurelia.
And Armeo is just not done with them. He is running them down. You said that this game wasn't as fast-paced as the last one. Well, suddenly, it is.
3K gold lead for TL. I mean, their ability... TL, I mean, they were behind. Their bot lane that has been so strong and was the one that dominated the last game. It was down early. But TL's ability to wait, read the right time to turn that lane around, and then their ability to just be explosive on the map from there, keep in mind, that bot lane turret, it had 3 plates on it for TL. IMT had Herald. Chad was bot. They don't drop the Herald. That could have been first brick for IMT. They could have reset, went top, and snowballed the game from there. The fact that Chad went for the kills, TL turns it around. Now they're the ones that took first brick. They're the ones that got the next dragon. And now they have a 4K gold lead. This could have, and honestly should have been, the game state that IMT could have been in if they dropped Herald down there when that wave crashed. Instead, they wanted the fights, and TL read it, turned it around, and now this game, they have to wait for Pretty to get big enough to try and save it, which is going to take a damn long time. TL can play out 3 lanes for free until then.
They've got all the time in the world, and now Chad, he ventures into territories unknown, gets found out by Bradley. They are turning it back a little bit onto Bradley. He's throwing away the missile barrage. He gets a little bit of heal, as you can see Chad jumping around the entire time. Hey, on, he's a little bit late, but they got Armeo on the flank, and he's got a lot of gold to his name. Undertone's going to be able to connect. Can they turn it around? Here comes Arrow. Wait a minute, he just Hex Tech portal in to make sure he gets a shutdown on Armeo, as John has to hop over the wall himself, but they've got the knockup with Joey. Joey, you threw the Soraka in for some reason, and now Chad getting more damage. But that's going to be an alt burn. Looking to see what damage they can get onto Harry. They're more focused onto Jan and onto Ayla as they take down Sona. There's a trade of supports at the moment, but all in all, Immortals are coming out on top.
And Chad, the ability for, I mean, Joey didn't even burn alt there. And him keeping the health bars that IMT topped off, yes, he does go down. I feel like that was the big difference, though, in making sure that Chad was able to win out on that skirmish. That and the fact that Armeo didn't have Ghost and got blown up on the way in. I think that was really the reason that IMT ended up winning that fight.
Chad never got a chance to talk about it because he went Stridebreaker, and it's looking like it's going to be a Death Dance second item. I know this is something you sometimes see from Olaf's, especially when you get ahead, but there, since there was no Death Dance completed, he's fairly susceptible to getting turned around like that. And even more surprising to me, I know we want to focus on Armeo, it was the Hextech portal from Arrow right into the middle of everyone and not die.
He gets a plus 700 for himself here, too, as Bradley. I mean, yeah, he catches out Chad, but look at all the healing from Joey. That is a full combo from Bradley in between the Rengar W and the Soraka. Chad is full health. Holy cow. And now Armeo trying to turn it around. Again, Soraka, a beautiful snow from Joey, topping Chad off. Armeo gets blown up on the way in, can't do anything. Walks out with only getting down 1 axe. Really good from IMT, and a bit of an overcommit there from TL.
Yeah, so now, suddenly, we got a game again. I was praising Team Liquid, but you know, Caster Curse is always a thing. And suddenly we have a game that's within 2,000 gold. Immortals looking a lot stronger now because they've got the Ludens Tempest completed. We're pretty. They're working towards that Ginzu's Rage Blade out of Arrow. And they got Joey, Soraka. Who couldn't ask for more?
Moonstone was done that last fight, but important for TL, the Moonstone's now matched by Ayla. So that will help them quite a bit. They want to choose to contest this dragon. It is the Hextech Soul. A very powerful one to have. Pretty has the package available again.
Good timing.
TL, one thing about TL's comp, they really don't have a way to get package off of Pretty. So we can hold on to this to a good time, but that's a really nice axe from Armeo. It's going to force Mega Gnar to pop, and IMT will start the dragon immediately as they have Mega, want to make a play while Mega's up.
Pretty still with the package. All 5 of both sides corralled around the dragon. Down below, and Vital flashed in. He's got the wall. Yeah. They've got the package on Ayla. They've got 1 kill, but now Jan's doing a lot of damage to Pretty, or is he? They turn it around. It's 1 for 1, no 2 for 2 at the moment. They're getting more damage. There goes Harry as they can try to turn it around onto Bradley, and they've got Arrow. He's fed. He's got gold from that last shutdown, and he should be able to rip apart Bradley if he can get that rend off.
And what a package from Pretty. Melts IMT, or TL completely. IMT, though, they will have to take this dragon immediately.
But
as we'll see if Bradley gets funky.
Charcoal was stolen. But now they can use Wish to try to see if they can heal up a little bit in the fight.
Oh, they
down low.
Silence.
The smite should be enough for Chad, as now they can turn it around on to Bradley, getting a little bit of damage on top of him as he's burning Ignite. There it is. That's the run we wanted to see.
Ooh. And IMT, TL, they aren't taking clean fights around this. IMT, they're punishing heavily this game, Mad Magical, as TL, you got to get on that Soraka, and that is one thing. They have 3 melees, Zeri, Sona. There's nothing that can really get on Soraka unless they're able to find a flank. All these front to backs where Pretty is just packaging on the melees, Vital throwing them into the wall. Look at this combo from Vital and Pretty. This was beautiful from Immortals, as look at the angle of this package too. He throws it right into the corner of that wall. So watch Harry. He loses his entire health bar to this package.
They're trying to kill Vital. He's just getting burned the entire time.
Yeah. Wow. And the silence on top of it, too. He couldn't move. This comp from Immortals into the melee-heavy team of TL. This Soraka is looking damn good.
Really, really good. Not only is it a lot of melee, but it's also lack of range. Zeri doesn't have the best range, not unless you can get your ultimate pop. Sona, same thing, same problem. So Immortals have been taking full advantage of that, and now, with the gold they've secured, the second dragon in their pockets, they're just seeing if they can chip at Team Liquid, waiting and biding their time until the next objective.
And I think the plan for TL, you got to try it and play out 3 lanes. Because at the moment, Silas and Aurelia should both crush Gnar in the side lane. Silas and Aurelia should both crush Corki in the side lane. So I think that TL is able to get IMT to overextend in one of these sides, can throw Armeo or another member at IMT in the side lane. That's how they're going to be able to try and get some gold back in their pockets and maybe be able to contest these team fights. But at the moment, the team fight for IMT, we did say when IMT was down 4K gold, it needed to be Pretty getting big to really save this for Immortals. And Pretty, props to him. He's been farming up nicely, sitting at that 2-item spike that evolved Miramana, working towards the Ravenous Hydra now. There's nothing that TL can do to really get Corki package out or pressure him unless they're able to find a TP flank. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out for deep wards and TPs for TL to see if they can pull that off.
Now, Immortals realize that as well. Trying to clear out some of the vision that the golden... What am I talking about? That Team Liquid have been setting up for themselves. Gives them a little bit of pressure back, as right now, a little bit of skirmish in the top lane. More just poke from Pretty, really chipping at Bradley.
TL. Ayla. Okay. Just gotta be careful there. Yeah, Chad. There is Mega for Vital.
Both teams are being cautious right now. Even though Chad gets a lot of damage onto Yon, he was able to heal enough with Sona. That is also something we kind of need to talk about. Is Sona, kind of like Soraka, does provide a lot more late game scaling healing.
Sona's late game is filthy.
Right.
I think that Sona's late game might be one of the best late game champs that exists in League of Legends. Just all the aura heals. Very powerful on the side of TL. And something that, I mean, I'm curious to see how it interacts. We have talked about how TL, they don't really have an ability to get on Corki, get on Soraka. There are tools that IMT has to get on Sona. I think that's the key target. And something they did very, very well in the last fight. They took Ayla out immediately. So if IMT are able to consistently execute Ayla, really important for them in trying to clean up this game. It's been a bit back and forth, something we're used to from a lot of our Immortals games, but doing a good job so far.
But the thing is, it's the big surprise because it's against Team Liquid Honda. Team that's normally so consistent. They got, you know, great plays out of Armeo, the general, kiting out the game, making sure that he got pretty fed early on. And he was 4-0 at one point. Now 5-2. Sure, still a good scoreline, but it's been delayed a lot more than necessary, especially because Yon has been struggling to catch up to Arrow.
And Yon, I mean, they're both at 2 items now, which is nice, but Zeri not going to feel great until she has that IE. That's when the W crits start getting rather absurd. But we did talk about the side laning. Harry, he has that stun prep. Double TP coming in.
Looking for the poke onto Harry. I'm waiting to see who they're going to engage on first. It looks like they're going to go for Pretty. They know that he's the damage. If they can take him out, there you go, Team Liquid. Making sure they made mincemeat of him. And now they're collapsing. They got all 5 members. Vital had to flash out of there just to be able to survive, even using the blast gun to gain a little bit more distance.
Didn't have the hop, honestly. Well played by Vital to get out, as now Chad spotted by Armeo. No ult available. We'll see what TL does with it. 10 seconds away from the Dragon. I think they're just going to take this one for free. Pretty's dead. That means no package. Best chance that TL have to take that Dragon is they're going to even up the score.
They have about a 20-second window to take this. Immortals understand that as well. Instead of contesting around it, they'll forfeit it and maybe even try to see if they can use package for a Baron play.
Really well played by TL. Again, we teased that for Team Liquid Honda, they had to go in one of those side lanes, and Harry, looking at the Corki, able to get the TP from the other solo laner to match that. That was the target they needed to take out before the objective. Really good identification of the win condition for Immortals, and well played by Team Liquid Honda to play into that.
Now, a bit of a dance mid lane. A lot of damage onto Yon. One of those big boys hitting. Pretty's going to be able to chunk out anybody. They can heal up with Sona. And right now, this is purely just a dance. I don't think anyone wants to truly pull the trigger unless you get split up like this. Team Liquid looked a little risky at first, but it was good pathing back.
I mean, they can heal up with Sona. They can speed up with Sona. They can make the enemy team dance with Sona. What can Sona not do, Mad Magic?
Build crit.
Hey, you admitted that a champion can't build something. That's progress, Mad Magical.
No, I've tried it. Doesn't work.
Big time progress.
You can't go lethality.
Were you the one at fault for Kangus's late night tweet of playing crit Anivia in ARAMs?
I feel like he's always. I think he's just in a competition in his head against me to try to see if he can come up with weirder things than I can. And little as you know, I've probably tried anything that he's thought of before.
Yeah. The the fact that you tried crit Sona is honestly concerning for me, but I'm not
I've tried
surprised.
crit Yumi too.
Yep. Moving on. For Immortals. I'm curious to see, so you did mention Pretty with that package, the potential to use it for a Baron power play. Pretty's yet to grab it. And there is a choice that Immortals has if they want to grab package and go for a Baron power play, or they can just wait for the next 3 minutes and grab it, 20 seconds before objective when that dragon spawns. It feels like dragon stacking is the name of the game for both of the teams that we have here. It's just farming until then. We'll have to see if TL can execute another play on the side lanes. I still think with Aurelia and Silas, they play out 3 lanes very well, and IMT will have to be wary of that.
As they've got 4 members grouped up mid. Bradley showing up mid lane, was able to get the Valkyrie away as well as the flash. So 2 big things down, one of them being that flash from Arrow. This is, there's still plenty of time. I'm expecting more dancing like this, unless they can get this play onto Yawn. That's a lot of damage. Crescendo stops the fight. They've got damage flashed away, but Chad has to flash himself, getting the wish out to survive the fight as Yawn still being healed up by Sona. An attempted fight going awry for Immortals, as Team Liquid were able to thwart it once more with the back of Sona.
And that ult from Ayla was beautiful. That saved Yawn, forced Chad out, as that was a 4v5 for TL. So, that is a play that Immortals, you have Gnar rotating, you pop Mega. I feel like that is the right time for IMT to look for a play like that. But the fact that Ayla was able to connect with that ultimate, that stops Chad in his tracks and makes sure that Harry can crash that wave top as Bradley returns to the bot lane, goes to fix that. Reason that he was showing mids because they already pushed that past the halfway point. TL's playing out their 3-lane comp very well here.
See, it's funny because normally in fights you're like, all right, who are they going to focus on? They got to focus on Pretty. They got to focus on Arrow, Harry, Yawn. No. This game is about focusing on supports for both sides. And as you talked about, Immortals have a good way to get on top of Sona, get on top of Ayla. But they weren't able to do that time. They were zoned away. Chad jumped onto Yawn because that was the only target within range.
All right, I got a bit of a crazy idea here.
What do you got?
Who do you think Bradley should have Kalista ult on? Because personally...
Ooh, Ayla.
Yes, I think it's Sona. I think that if you are able to save the Sona, that is huge for the side of TL. Just allow Ayla to get an extra repositioning tool in this fight. There are options. You can go back and buy that spear in the store. I believe you can swap it up. So we'll see if that is... I don't know who Bradley has that attached to. Early in the game, obviously you kind of expect jungler if you are going to play it in the solo lane, but curious if he has swapped it up at all.
As now, 45 seconds left until the next dragon spawns, both teams on 2 apiece. You can tell that Immortals are more set up. They're even waiting. Oh, yep, there it is. Picked up the Earthstone. We knew that from the side of Immortals.
Yeah, that was on Soraka.
I
wonder where Bradley's is.
Right, that's the big one. I would like it on Ayla as well. You got 2 ways that you can utilize it. One to save Sona further, or one to start off a fight by throwing Sona in for a great crescendo. So I like these opportunities for Team Liquid. But right now, it's still just a dance between both teams. Not even relatively, dead even in gold. Dead even, essentially, in items spread across the board.
We'll have to... I believe Pretty just got the package and is portaling back in. So all eyes again on Pretty and Vital.
There he is.
They can sync up the Mega Gnar plus the package. That's big.
Ooh.
A big crit lands onto Joey.
That might be enough to
Love
make
the
sure.
magic damage crits from Zeri.
Yep.
As Yawn. Yeah, that's enough. That's all they needed.
Yeah, you take the... Hey, maybe that's how you take out the Soraka. You just get these magic damage crits from Yawn, consistently connecting, and then Joey can't even heal himself.
It was a tough lane for Yon and Ayla, as their very squishy level 1 was punished very well by IMT. But man, Yon's starting to bounce back nicely in this game and is at that 3-item Zeri power spike where she does feel so incredibly powerful right now. As now TL, IMT, they're on the back foot. Joey didn't have to reset. Bradley's going over the wall.
Oh, Pretty, though.
Oh.
Might be able to turn it around. Got a lot of damage onto Yon. Trying to see if they get the TP to save his life, but Pretty, he's got the wish on top of him to survive a little bit longer, looking to see if he can land some of the missile barrage, but he's in the Alcove. He's going to be shut down. He takes one with them, and they get the kill on Ayla. They're turning it around. Team Liquid seemed like they had the advantage, but now they are the ones getting picked off.
Big play from Pretty, able to blow up the bot lane of TLA, who blew up IMT in game 1, and now IMT, they can turn to the Baron.
What a turnaround there. Pretty taking Yon with them to the grave. The rest of IMT positioning themselves to quickly react to the play that leaves Bradley and Harry there to try to defend the Baron.
It wasn't just Yon, it was Ayla too. I mean, I think the Phosphorus Bomb into a big one completely took Sona out of the fight. A huge play, and now Harry in the back half.
He's trying to fight, trying to get on top of Joey, and it seems that it was the use of the Orthsworn on to Harry. But now Bradley, he gets a shutdown back. He goes golden himself. I expect him to die upon surviving, and there it is.
Well, we got our answer for who Quistall's on for Bradley. It is Harry. That's another decent option. But man, what a play coming out from Pretty. I know that he fell, but if we get a replay of that fight, I really want to see how much damage he was able to get out before he went down.
Pretty is the reason this fight worked out. And it's funny because at first I'm like, he's caught out. He's out of position. This is doom and gloom.
I mean, him hugging the wall and waiting for Yon to connect, he lands the Phosphorus Bomb and a big one, and now Pretty, that's another big one. It hits on 2. He's got more rockets left.
What's this one?
I think he gets 2 more out. It was that one where he goes down here. But yeah, the Phosphorus Bomb, rocket plus auto just took out Ayla as they were stacked up. Ravenous Hydra helps out a bit on that. Pretty, a really big play from him. Caught out of position, but makes the most of it. Buys as much time as he can. And hey, that Soraka ult that Joey had too, that bought the health that Pretty needed in order to turn that play in IMT's favor. Really good stuff from IMT.
Also, look at the time for me really quick, Hubby. What time are we at in the game?
We messed up. Yep.
We
counted IMT out. Oh, you said over. Okay.
I said over.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Big brain again. Just gotta point that out whenever I can.
Yep. I mean, that does happen a lot, to be fair. Hopes for TL still. Zeri does have range issues into Corki, as well as Sona, but all the auras, late game, you can do a lot. We'll see if TL is up to the task again. As, those rockets are really starting to hurt from Pretty.
However, Ayla constantly being able to heal him back up nearly to full. So it mitigates a lot of that damage that is connecting. Consistent damage and the consistent healing. The ebb and flow here in mid lane. Still not able to topple that tier 1 structure mid.
Sona is such a gross champion as we get later into the game. As, my god. It feels like the Corki pokes just neutralized now.
It does.
As I think a big thing, looking into this next dragon, it's Hextech Soul for TL. If they're able to get Soraka out of the fight again, Soraka cannot self-sustain herself unless you land Qs. That at this point in the game, you have to walk up pretty far to land those Star Calls on Soraka. So we will see if Yon can poke out Joey. Joey has to be very careful with this next objective setup, along with the rest of IMT. Any W's they eat from Zeri, that's a lot of health being taken away from Joey, who's going to need everything he can for this next fight.
Especially because we are on the precipice of a Hextech Soul for Team Liquid Honda. They have just one more dragon to secure for themselves, and they already have the inside angle. With 35 seconds remaining until it spawns, Immortals have to find an angle that they can utilize, especially if they can get Pretty back to grab that package.
I mean, you gotta believe Pretty's gonna... He's basing right now. He has the TP if he so wants it.
It's not up yet.
He's got 7 seconds until package is up. But at the moment, without Corki on the map, IMT did have to seed. So they will be fighting to try and play through bot lane. As Chad's gonna fight Vital.
Vital, what are you doing over there, bro? He misses the Gnarl as well. Jan goes golden. Vital just gets caught out of position, and now Chad has to run and bail on Gnar. Shutdown for Bradley with Soul up. There's got to be a miracle play for Immortals at this point. They're landing the rockets, getting a little bit of damage, but it started it up. It is all about the Dragon for Team Liquid. If they can land this, that is one of the most powerful Barons souls that we have in the game. They're getting it low. Can they steal it? They couldn't get it, and now the soul belongs to Team Liquid. But they got to be careful. Pretty. He's doing enough damage. He's on top of Jan. The flash in. He doesn't get it. Jan turns it around, and even if he dies for it, they've got soul in their pockets.
I mean, Pretty takes out both bot laners again, but Vital. I mean, a rookie at this point of the season. We've credited Vital for having some good moments in team fights. This is his first Gnar of the season, but man, he was just in no man's land. He was trying to blend in with Team Liquid in the backline, but you can't do that against Team Liquid Honda. This is a big mistake from Vital, as I mean, his team is not even in bot river. They don't spot a single member of TL. And then he jumps in afterwards. That was a really big question mark from both him and Chad, who was trying to follow up. I mean, Pretty was still getting in position for this. There's no rush. Yes, Vital had Mega Gnar, but you have time. You get more, like, you're level 16 plus. So I think IMT, big mistake at this point of the game. And honestly, Soul, they lose it. That's huge. Pretty does save the fight, but now it's Hextech Soul for TL. That's really tough to overcome.
It is so rough, because even with the fact that Pretty does a lot to try to save the game for the team, they still get aced. It's a great package, but they still get aced. They lost the soul.
He takes out Ayla and Jan again.
Well, no, I mean, he does get Jan, but he also dies for it.
You got him. We count it. It's a double kill on the board, man. Magical.
Yeah.
We take the 2-for-1s.
Yeah,
come
but
on. FPS, that's the move.
Yeah,
when's a 2-for-1 bad?
I understand that. But it's still soul. And as I say, a soul's a soul. You got one of the most powerful souls for Team Liquid as well. That makes up more than enough for the 2 kills that they had lost in that fight.
And now these Zeri Ws, whenever they connect, I mean, they're going to be hitting so damn hard from Jan. So all eyes have to be on Jan. I mean, how much zoning can he throw at IMT? As Pretty is able to sidestep that one. Important though, Pretty is full build now. So Pretty is just massive in this game. As Jan, he's zoning out IMT. So they have the Bork Aurelia on the Baron. This will be turned as Bradley is taking the Quirky ult. He's using this to try and poke IMT away.
Trying to get as much damage back as he can. Pretty was able to land a couple of those missiles. But still, the Baron aggro is there onto Armeo. He hasn't relented it quite yet. Even though they know they're on top of the Baron, it is difficult. Vital does not have Mega, and it's quite some time off until he can actually use it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Bradley! He assassinates Pretty, and that's the damage dealer gone. They trade Bradley back as Chad tries to pull off a miracle himself in the backline, but he dies. A double kill for Armeo. The rest of the team, they are forfeit. It is Team Liquid Honda.
Bradley makes the big play on his Silas, flexing that bad boy up to the top lane, and for TL, this is a comp that you try to win early. You try to play out 3 lanes. That did not go their way. They lost bot lane to the point that they had to pull something out of their hat. But when you are the best team in the league, you are able to find wins from nothing at times. And TL will find this win against Immortals. It was some great plays in the mid game to take down Pretty, who did everything he could to really keep his team in this game. But it's just too much at the end. TL, they take the dub.
2-0 for Team Liquid Honda over Immortals Progressive. That first game was a stomp. The second game, though, it was so close. And as you had talked about, Team Liquid did suffer in the early game, but they were able to bounce back. Bradley's final flank there, huge. Just clutch.
I mean, that's pretty tragic for IMT, who, again, they are 0-8 now against the top 4 teams in the league in their last 4 series. And that game felt close. They were in it. Arrow and Joey, great laning phase. But I think the way they used that Rift Herald, Chad going for the fight instead of just dropping it, taking the turret, that is a moment where, you know, some of the younger players in IMT trying to play out the macro, trying to play out the map, slow things down a bit, could do IMT a bit of a favor. And I think for Immortals as well, Vital around that last dragon, just getting stuck in the later stages of the game, IMT was a team that got off to a very hot start in Academy. They had a 5-1 week 1. Seeing them now go 0-8 in the back half against some of the top teams we have, they have a chance to bounce back in the round robin as they've now gotten all the top teams out of the way in the second round robin. It was their first 4 matchups. I expect IMT to climb in the standings since then, but it's going to be something to look out for Proving Grounds. And a big story, the fact they weren't able to take a game off the top 4 teams we have in Academy right now in the last 4 series. They're going to have to change the tides, work on some of the things that are giving them issues in these games. They want to have a chance to take top 4 in Proving Grounds again this split.
Gubby, isn't that what Academy is for? Learning, growing, becoming a better player. Hopefully Immortals will be able to do so before we get to Proving Grounds, because right now, Team Liquid Academy, they're looking like they are the hot favorites to win it all again. We're going to toss to a break. When we come back, our host of Genghis will be here for an interview with Team Liquid. Make sure you stay tuned.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with our post-series interview with the top laner for Team Liquid Academy. According to Ben Zyper, your name's Badly. Is that correct? Badly?
I mean,
what's the story behind that?
There's no story. I'm pretty sure he literally made it up 10 seconds ago, because you have to put a name in like the interview chat room before you join, and he just he wanted to be creative, I guess. But he's not really like a funny person, so it's not really that funny. So I mean, it is what it is, though.
Well, I think the problem is that you picked a name that people can easily turn into something negative. You know, like
that's true.
What's the caps is craps. Bradley,
Yeah.
Badly. It's like just add an R, take an R away. It's too simple, man. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Low hanging fruit. Well, hopefully that name doesn't stick based on your play, because you have been looking pretty good with your role swap. And in that last game, you played Silas top lane. Busio even pulled out the Yasuo in the bottom lane, and he's another role swap from mid lane. So my first question for you, Bradley, what other mid laners do you think are secretly OP in other roles?
Like players or champions?
Champions that are good in other roles.
I mean, I don't want to give away my secrets a bit, but
okay, sure.
I definitely think there's definitely a lot to be explored within like going to other roles. Obviously, like Mage's support, I wouldn't pass Busio to like start playing those, or like Mage's top even. Just like a lot of different shit people could do that nobody really tries, because it's like it's very niche. But I do think you can make it work. Absolutely.
I love that kind of perspective for somebody who has played in multiple roles now, because obviously your champ pool from the mid lane is going to be very different from most other top laners when you're first starting off. But now you've been in the top lane. This is your second split since role swapping from the mid lane. So next up, I'm curious, what are some things that you've been learning so far, Bradley, that you didn't know when you first joined the role? What are some like little bits of information that you've picked up here and there?
Well, I would say the first thing I learned is that jungle is OP, first thing. Like, obviously jungle's OP, right? But it matters even more so for top, like the jungle differential, you know? So, like, jungle's OP. Learn that, first of all. And I think that's because, okay, on a more serious note, the biggest thing that me as a player, I had to understand is definitely one thing compared to mid to top is how you play the lane according to jungle. And that's not really something mid laners think about, because most of the time for mid lane, the extent to jungle is which side you hug, right? And then you can play the lane however. Top lane, it's a completely different ball game where you can't take certain trades that you could win because of, you know, like relative like jungle pathing or whatever. So it's a bit annoying, to be honest with you, but it's definitely something that was ingrained in my head over the past couple months, and I definitely think I'm getting a lot better hang of it. So
how nice has it been working with a jungler like Armeo to kind of learn some of those lessons? Is that something that he gives a lot of insight into?
Yeah, I mean, Armeo's like he's so good on like Volibear and like Trundle. Like he's like, you know, like Armal is like someone who's very smart at the game. Unfortunately, like he can only play like Volibear and like Trundle.
Sejuani, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a bit unfortunate. Like we can't play like Lee Sin, but I mean I do think that, you know, like working with Armal is definitely like a pleasure because he's very knowledgeable about the game and he definitely is like there to help me.
Yeah, I mean, let's not slight this man. He has a pentakill on Sejuani. Do you have any pentakills, Bradley?
Yeah. Do I?
I don't know if you do, actually. I just asked that question as a rhetorical, but I'm not sure. Maybe you do.
I believe I got a pentakill. I believe I got a pentakill in amateur, but I don't know if that really counts. So
all right. I mean, that still might be on your league video. We'll go check that later. We'll go check that later. Now, final question here. LCS power rankings has been a big discussion since the dawn of time. But what's fun is when we have really strong performing academy teams and people start theorizing, how would this academy team place in the LCS? So I want you to take Team Liquid Academy. Currently #1. You're on a hot streak right now here at this level of play. If you were competing since the beginning of the split in LCS Academy Summer, where do you think you would be in the pack right now?
It's a good question because I definitely think that we have been ramping up this split in particular. So I definitely think we're playing a lot better now. But if we were playing at the very start, I would say we would be in the middle. I don't think, obviously, we would be like super high up, but I definitely wouldn't put it past us to definitely beat some of like the lower end teams and kind of place ourselves in the middle. I do think, though, you could look forward to complete dominance towards the end of PG, and hopefully like that would kind of show more of our power, and maybe we, in theory, we would kind of place more higher in the LCS standings. But yeah,
well,
for now, I think
let's
we'd
change
be in
the
the
question
middle for sure.
Current form, where do you think you would slot into LCS? Just in terms of power scale of teams.
Right now, I don't know. I mean, honestly, right now we're playing really good. This past week for us has been like really, really good for us. You know, kind of the one game we lost, Concept Mundo, like bonk. Anyways, but besides that,
I believe that was the Nasus, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Nasus. My bad. But yeah,
they both bonk.
So I did. Yeah, they both bonk. I think we're playing pretty well though. I would probably say middle again.
Okay.
All right. Dead even middle.
I still think that's a pretty realistic goal and vision based on how you've been playing so far, and I'm excited to see how that continues going forward. Any final message for the fans, Bradley?
Oh, of course. I got some shout outs.
Okay.
Let's
do it. The Bradley shout outs. I love this part.
Yeah. The first thing I want to shout out is my family. They are especially like my brother and my nephew and my brother's friend. They're all at home and they're watching my game and they're supporting my game. So I want to shout out to like all my family and especially some of my friends too, because some of my friends are watching this that I know. So shout out to them as well. Shout out to Honda. Love you guys. Please give me a car. I would like to shout out my teammates. My teammates are the GOATs, obviously. They're my boys. And shout out to everyone like watching and like rooting for us in Twitch chat. You guys are the real ones making it fun. Oh, and the casters too. You guys are GOATs too.
Oh, thank you, Bradley. You got 5 shout-outs just for us. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on for the interview. Congratulations on a very strong week, and best of luck going into next week.
Thank you very much.
All right, now we're